Forearm exam it's a routine two-view exam, an AP and a lateral view. Most of the time you're just going to use a 14 by 17 and you're going to collimate to the lateral borders. Unless it's a kid, you're going to keep your length open because you must include both joints. The joint of the wrist and the elbow need to be included. So you're going to sit the patient at the end of the table, arm extended, palm up or hand supinated. Again, just like the elbow, that shoulder needs to be dropped so that entire upper limb is on the same plane. We're going to use a 40-inch SID to the tabletop. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. KVP range is about 60 plus or minus 6 for the AP, and for the lateral it's about 64 plus or minus 6. So it's really important that that hand is supinated because when we put the hand in a PA position, if you kind of feel on your forearm right now, put your hand on your mid forearm and then turn your palm down, you can feel the radius and ulna rotate over the top of each other. So they have crossover. So if our hand is PA, then the radius and ulna are going to be crossed over one another. So putting that hand in that palm up position is going to ensure that the radius and ulna lie next to each other so we can see both bones free of superimposition of each other. So the central ray point is just mid forearm. It's not, there's not a very specific area, just mid forearm, and ensure that you include both joints. So you need to get all the way through the carpal bone, so you want to at least get some light into the palm, and then you want the elbow joint as well. So you're going to make sure that you get light past the bend of the elbow. Your marker is going to be on there on the lateral side of the anatomy. I'm going to keep playing here. Alright, so now you can kind of see the difference here. So we've got mid forearm, see how the radius and ulna are lying side by side, not crossed over. They've got all the way through the carpals, and they've got the joint space of the elbow as well. I'm just going to kind of zoom around a little bit, show you some different angles. Alright, so this one, it's a little close here. That would probably be repeatable, so you can't see all of the joint space. It's a little closed off right there. But this is good. So you can see all of the radius, the majority of the ulna. I would open that up and take another one to make sure that you can see everything. I don't know if it's just not visualized on here, but this is a good true AP. It's also important to make sure that that hand isn't rotated in any way, because if the thumb starts to come up, then that wrist area isn't going to be a true AP. It's going to start to oblique just a little bit. So always watching that hand just like that to make sure that it's completely palm up and not rotated at all. If that thumb starts to come up, you're going to have problems. Alright, so we'll move on to the lateral here real quick. So the lateral, again, same thing as the elbow. You want to put them in a 90-degree position, thumb up. You want to make sure that that shoulder and the elbow are on the same plane. You're still going to be using a 14 by 17. You just change the orientation of the cassette with the patient. When they rotate from AP to lateral, you're just going to turn your cassette so that you have that length again. Marker's going to go on that lateral side. We'll move around just a little bit. See, that shoulder could come down even just a little bit more. It's still a little too high. So either raise that table up, lower the patient down, or build up that cassette. Again, elbow should be a true 90-degree angle. You want to ensure that you have light back here on the posterior portion so that you're including that entire joint, and you're going to have the wrist on there as well. Oops, I didn't mean to pause that on zoom in. So you want to make sure that the wrist is truly lateral and the elbow is truly lateral. You're not going to have the bones completely superimposed here because there's a little bit of a curve to the radius. But if you're lateral at the elbow and you're lateral at the wrist joint, you're going to be good as far as positioning. Again, your central ray point is mid forearm. Again, just ensuring that you have both joints on either side. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit to the x-ray. So this is what I mean. So radius and ulna here at the wrist are superimposed. You're going to have no overlap here in the mid forearm, and then again the elbow portion should be truly lateral. So this is clipped off here. In the real world, you'd need to have that. It might be on the original image, but it just doesn't visualize it here. So you need to have the joint space here, and you need to have the entire elbow here. Alright, so that's it for the forearm.